The Newsom administration says California does not have enough money to fund its Medicaid program for millions of low-income Californians. So the state will need to borrow more than $3 billion to cover expenses. Our Capitol correspondent Eitan Wallace reports from the state capitol, where Republicans are outraged right now, and they are blaming Governor Newsom's plan to fund medical services for undocumented immigrants.
It is absolutely outrageous.
San Diego Republican Assembly member Carl DeMaio reacting after the Newsom administration announced in this memo the state does not have enough money to fund Medi-Cal, California's publicly funded health care program funded by both the state and federal governments. The program helps pay medical services for more than 14 million Californians with low income. But with California's Medi-Cal funds now out of money, the Newsom administration says the state has no choice but to borrow $3.4 billion to ensure it can pay off bills this month for Californians on Medi-Cal.
Clearly, I think that's a significant issue.
State Senate Budget Committee Vice Chair Roger Nilo notes the Newsom administration's memo did not explain how it ran out of funds to pay for Medi-Cal, but he and fellow Republicans believe the governor's actions to include undocumented Californians in the Medi-Cal program is a major factor. Originally, the Newsom administration estimated covering undocumented Californians in the Medi-Cal program would cost the state a total of $6 billion, but now they estimate it will cost closer to $9.5 billion.
The way that the costs have ballooned, I believe it's clearly unaffordable, and it comes at the expense of other budget items that would benefit citizens.
This is outrageous. It is not affordable. It puts the health care coverage for low-income citizens in California at grave risk, and it needs to stop. We need to take care of our own low-income families first, not provide free health care to all the illegal immigrants who show up.
DeMaio is calling on the governor to stop including undocumented Californians in Medi-Cal, but Newsom says including them in Medi-Cal will actually save the state money in the long run because it will lead to fewer emergency room visits that are ultimately paid for by taxpayers. Here's what Newsom said this week on his podcast featuring conservative activist and media personality Michael Savage.
Substantially higher prices on the back end for the emergency care.
See, this is where we disagree, because you can't give first world excellent medical care to everyone on the planet without going bankrupt.
No, I appreciate it, but honestly, I mean this sincerely. What would you do to the person that was just hit by a car?
Democratic Assembly Speaker Robert Rivas writing this, quote, immigrant workers and families who pay billions in taxes deserve access to care, and I am proud to protect California's progress expanding Medi-Cal. Let's be clear, we will not roll over and leave our immigrants behind. Nilo, meantime, acknowledges other factors like higher drug costs and more seniors on Medi-Cal likely contributed to the program's financial strains, but he wants the Newsom administration to provide more answers to the public.
There are all these issues that I'm willing to admit is part of it, but we won't know, the citizens won't know, unless we have a hearing on this.
And we expect this issue to come up for further discussion in a budget hearing this Monday. Reporting at the state capitol, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.